Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Issue Crew Movie Reviews. It's the show where members of the Issue Crew and guests review films and seasons of television. It's the wonderful podcast. We all know and love it. A bi-monthly podcast, they call it. Issue Crew Movie Reviews. I am Riely, of course, your host, joined by a special guest. This is his debut on the Issue Crew channel. Nightster is here.
Hello, everybody.
If you are not aware, me and Nightster do a Power Rangers podcast. If you've heard any of the previous Sentai reviews, you know that me and Crow Royalty were doing a Power Rangers podcast. That is no longer the case. It is now me and Nightster doing that same podcast. It's back. It was gone for like a year. It's back. We're doing it, the two of us. It's been a good time so far. So check it out. I'm leading with that because that's like the whole reason we're doing this, because for some reason people watch these Sentai reviews even now. So maybe this new one will get views too. And we have a Power Rangers podcast and nobody listens to it. So if you like Power Rangers, Megazord Radio,
That's the one.
that's the one. Now today we're here to review a Sentai film, a crossover film, once again between two seasons that I have never seen. I've seen like 2 episodes of one of the seasons, so I had like a vague understanding of some of the characters going into it, but it was mostly blind.
Whereas I have seen the entirety of one of the seasons, but barely any of the other.
So we both had varying experiences. What was the exact title of this? Was there a subtitle beyond Ryusoulger versus Lupinranger versus Patranger or whatever?
No, it was just those. Just that, and then the movie.
The movie, okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna make you do this, Nightster, because I never do. If you had to give a rough rundown of the plot of this movie for the people listening who have not seen the movie but don't care, that is a genre of movie podcast listeners, just a quick and dirty paragraph summary of what the plot of this movie is.
Okay, so the plot of the movie is a bunch of Zords from Ryusoulger have been captured by a Gangler, which is the Lupinranger monsters, and they team up with the Lupinrangers to try and get them back. But as they're doing that, the Gangler makes it so that they don't have enough devices to open all the safes. So it's a rough situation of they kind of have to destroy their own Zords in order to beat this monster and save the planet. But right at the climax, it's like nope, because Noel, Lupin slash Patranger X, decides he has a MacGuffin tool that will allow them to double up on the Lupinrangers and open the safes and save the episode or save the movie.
Save the movie, that's right. All right, there you go. That's what happens in this film. Now, Nightster, how did you
Yes.
feel about this movie? I'm curious.
Uh, well, I liked it. Like, for the most part, it was really fun to see some characters that I was interested in back again, and how they interact with some characters that I haven't really seen too much of. But there were some parts that were a little bit too goofy for me. But I did like most of it.
There was when Toma and Yumika, fucking Looney Tunes sent flying whatever mucus is called in Ryusoulger. In
Yeah,
Power
Cleon.
Rangers, he's called Mucus. What's he called?
I think his name is Cleon here.
Cleon. Yeah. Cleon gets like Looney Tunes, Cleon shaped hole through the ceiling gets sent flying. Team Rocket blasting off again. That was a little
Cartoon,
silly.
like a comic book explosion picture was there and everything. It was wild.
I also don't know how I feel about the morpher saying Ryu's so cool when they morph. That's a little stupid. I'm not gonna
You're
be
so
real. Uh,
cool.
yeah, I'm not feeling Ryu so cool.
Yeah, I got to be honest, I don't like that either. It feels stupid.
That being said, I feel like I'm like positive middling towards this movie, where like I didn't really even follow the plot that well, but like there's something to be said about just like, and by the way, we're gonna call Sentai Power Rangers. I'm sorry. I know people get upset about that. That's been a Twitter trend lately. It's like they're not Japanese Power Rangers, but like I watched Power Rangers first. I'm gonna use Power Rangers terms. I'm sorry. Uh, but just seeing all these Power Rangers together, like crossovers almost always work for me. There was that one exception of Go Seiger versus Shinkenger that was just like so boring and nothing the whole time that it just was not an enjoyable experience. But this film was quite enjoyable. Like the plot was not super coherent. It was not like absolute cinema or anything, but it was well shot. The action was well done. There was fun character interactions between Rangers across multiple seasons, which is just always charming, and it was well done here. They're both just strong casts. Like I'm very into both of these casts. Some of the Ryu soldiers struggle. Like I don't really have any thoughts one way or the other about Blue. Like he's kind of not really anything, but like pretty much every other ranger in this movie I like. Ryu
Yeah,
Soul Blue is the one where I'm like, I don't know if there's much to you.
I need to look up his name because even I forgot.
Yeah, I don't remember fucking. They're all too Japanese for me to remember names. I remember
Melto.
some LuPat names because I remember them from the past.
I know all the other Rue soldiers, but Melto's name always escaped me.
Melto, is that blue?
That's blue. Red, it's
The
Ko.
names in Ryu Soldier are kind of goofy.
Yeah, you got Ko, Melto, Asuna, Toa, Bamba, and Canelo.
Canelo. I keep thinking his name is Canalo. That just sounds better to me.
It might be that. I just say it how I read it. Canelo.
That's fair. Canalo just feels like a more like natural fantasy name to me. Well, Cantaloupe just sounds kind of like cantaloupe, the fruit, and that's a
That's
little
what I've always
silly.
thought about his name. Yeah, like he sounds like a fruit.
But he is a little too aggressive with the ladies.
Yeah, I did try to give you a warning beforehand. I was like, just keep in mind, gold is a bit heavy on that. I had to warn you.
As a girl he met earlier that day, and he was like, "We're destined to marry."
And the second he sees the pink, the yellow Lupin, he forgets all about the pink one, and he's all over her.
Well, to be fair, she rejected him first. He was just he quickly moved on. He didn't let it affect him.
How quick was that move on her? It was like the second she was like, "Nah, I've got too many um like guys like that at my workplace." He was like, oh, there's someone."
And he sees Yumika, and then Sakuya, is that Power Ranger
Okay,
Green?
yeah, that's
Saki stops him, and he's like, "That's my Yumika." And Yumika's like, "Bitch, the fuck I ain't." And Saki is like, "What?" And then he starts chasing her. That was
well,
a weird interaction.
she says, "No, I'm not yours, not yet."
Not
And then
yet. Okay, so she's into it, but why? I don't know. I don't understand the chase part.
I think that's just a frequent thing in Super Sentai.
Yeah, they
And
do.
whenever,
They do chase the yeah, like Eric and Taylor did that in the Wild Force Time Force crossover too. Like that is kind of a Toku trope. Now that I think it was just like weirdly framed.
yeah, chasing each other is just a thing that happens for some reason.
But no, this is kind of like it's mostly like action figures smashing together slop. but it's enjoyable action figure smashing together slop. And there's a few little character moments that make it a little bit more than that. It's no Go-Onger versus Geki Ranger. That movie was just like complete cinema for no reason. It had no right to be that good. But it's but this one is good. This one is enjoyable.
That one. I haven't seen it. Although, what were your thoughts on when the three um Arena soldiers turned into Lupin Rangers?
That was wild. That was wacky.
Like, I think I audibly like gasped at that bit.
Feel that is that almost too far? Because like I liked the weapon swapping. I was like, that's a cool way to do a crossover. But then some Ryu soldiers just become Lupin Rangers, and it's like, okay, is this a little too much? Perhaps.
And then Noel literally gives them the Amrita Soul that allows them to do that. So I guess now, anytime they want, the Ryu soldiers can become Lupin Rangers.
I hope that's just in the show now. Like whenever this movie came out, the whatever episodes are made of Ryusoulger, they could just turn into the Lupin Rangers now.
Oh my god, I doubt it, but that would be funny. Just right towards the end of the episode, just Lupin Ranger.
But yeah, I had a fun time with this. I'm trying to think of particular moments. What can you think of that were notable moments we should discuss?
I liked Kyrie um just about to give Ko his sword back and then just completely moving it around so he couldn't grab it.
Yeah, the you can't get your sword game was fun,
Yeah,
and then he got a text that said it's not Lupin Collection, so he's like, whatever, here you go.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want it anymore.
Like that was a fun moment. And then there was that one scene where Cleon got absolutely slapped by a little girl.
That did happen. Was that little girl some sort of significant character from one of the shows?
She, I'm pretty sure that's Candelo's little sister
Okay.
because
Cause
he did mention,
she did have a Canelo looking costume.
yeah, and he does mention in the movie that he has a sister. So I'm guessing that's
Oh
her.
yeah, yeah, and she was talking about Moserex, so I assume she has an existing relationship with Moserex because she's family. Okay, get it.
Yeah,
I'm
and
on board.
and, and those two were talking about Moser Rex together. So and they seem very close. Let me just look up her name really quick.
Man, modern Sentai suits whip ass, and I wish modern Power Rangers was a little better.
Yeah, the
Like
only
there's some gems in there. Like Dino Charge is really good. Like it almost breaks the seal, but like there's something about Power Rangers from Neo Saban onward, even into Hasbro, where it's like now everything is like goofy catchphrases.
yeah,
And it's like before that was not the case. Like never again. The Disney era's writing was like it was cheesy, but it was like creatively cheesy instead of cheesy in the same way every time. And also modern Power Rangers is just written for a younger audience in general than it used to be. So it's just not as strong. Like even Dino Charge, like I said, it almost breaks the seal, but it still
yeah.
has some of those little quirks.
I know the Zordon era is your favorite era of Power Rangers, but
I mean,
Disney
it's Zordon and Disney are pretty closely clashing for me. Like my top two seasons are Disney era, so I
uh,
guess technically Disney era is kind of my favorite. It's just like I really like the Zordon era because I like that it's interconnected. Like I enjoy that aspect, and I would like
that
to
is
see Power
very
Rangers
nice.
explore something like that again.
Like I think they kind of threw that all that out the window when they decided to stop with the um season crossovers in the Disney era. But they did two. and that was it.
Even then, the
And
crossovers were like the crossovers were just like kind of, fuck. What am I gonna say?
like
The
one-offs.
crossovers are kind of one and done. Like it's like, okay, these other Power Rangers exist for this one episode, and we get to have a cool time, and then that's done. What I like about the Zordon era is like it's even like less other Power Rangers exist than that, I guess, but it's more like these seasons come from each other. Like it's like Mighty Morphin happens, and then Mighty Morphin ends on a cliffhanger that gets picked up in Zeo, and then Zeo ends, and Turbo leads right in from where Zeo left off. And then Turbo ends on a cliffhanger, which leads right into In Space. And then In Space is this big epic finale where we get all of the little loose ends that we've had these whole six seasons tied. And it's like a full interconnected story, and I really like that.
Yeah, the writing basically means that certain all, in fact, every season in the Zordon era happened because of the season before it. You could not
Correct.
have
That's what I like.
you could not have written Zeo without Mighty Morphin. You could not have written Turbo without Zeo. You could not have written In Space without Turbo. But you could have written Dino Thunder before Ninja Storm. Like they weren't strictly connected.
Yeah, Dino Thunder could have been like the next season after Lightspeed Rescue, and nothing would change. Like you could go
Exactly.
years difference.
Like there is some leeway with that in the Zordon era. I think like maybe I mean it depends what you consider the Zordon era.
The
'Cause,
Zordon
like,
era is Mighty Morphin through In Space. I guess some people argue that maybe Lost Galaxy, I guess, because it crosses over with In Space, but like it's more like the Zordon era is from the beginning to when Zordon dies. So like
yeah,
even though Lost Galaxy is still connected to the Zordon era, it's not the Zordon era.
but if that was the case, freaking Wild Force would be Zordon era
That's
because
true.
every single season up to Wild Force has had a crossover with the previous season.
Yeah, no. So Zordon era is Mighty Morphin through In Space.
So, yeah, I'm not sure what the era from Galaxy to Wild Force is called, but
It's like there's a name for it. I
uh,
think
Google Wild
do people just
Force.
call it the after Zordon era?
So it was Lost Galaxy to Wild Force era.
I know there's like a agreed upon fan term.
The post Zordon era.
Post Zordon era, yeah. So post Zordon era is at the very least Lost Galaxy through Time Force. It's kind of debated whether Wild Force is the last of the post Zordon era or the first of the Disney era, because that switch kind of happened in the middle of Wild Force, so it's a little complicated.
Yeah. Is Disney considered? Right, is Wild Force considered a Disney season? Let's have a look at that. It is technically a Disney season. It was filmed and produced in LA. So apparently it's considered a Disney season by a lot of people, but there's also a lot of people that consider it post Zordon.
Yeah, because I think Disney took over like executive producing at some point, but like it was still filmed in the same place, like done by the same people it had been done by. Like it was just like that sale happened in the middle. But it was still the Disney era kind of has its own identity. And it's like it's filmed in New Zealand. It's got all these guitars and royalty free classical pieces that kind of suck. And motorcycle bike stunts, all the things that make the Disney era. And that starts with Ninja Storm. So in my mind, I kind of group Wild Force with Post Zordon and Ninja Storm as the start of the Disney era.
My argument for lumping Wild Force with post Zordon instead of Disney is the crossover aspect. Yes, it's because of um Actually, no, it wouldn't have even been that because if the latter half was filmed where Disney and Disney seasons were filmed, then the crossover could have happened because there was a crossover for Wild Force and Time Force, but there wasn't a crossover for Wild Force and Ninja Storm,
You know,
despite
because
them
Wild Force
being
was never shot in New Zealand. That started with Ninja Storm.
yeah. So there was Sentai footage of like a Gower Ranger and Hurricaneger
I've seen that
crossover,
movie.
but it
We
never
didn't talk
actually.
about it here, but I watched it when I watched Hurricaneger.
Yeah, so because there's a crossover for Time Force, but not Ninja Storm, I personally consider Wild Force post Zordon.
Yeah, enough about semantics about Power Rangers, though. We're talking about a Super Sentai
Yeah,
movie.
I kind of got. We kind of got distracted there, as we
A
always
little
do.
bit. We do tend to do that, yes.
So, Ryusoulger versus Lupinranger. If I get some images up, then it might remind me of plot points
It's a
and things.
little the like talking Zords kind of takes a little bit getting used to. Like I'm used to sentient Zords, but like it's weird when they speak English. Like the only other English speaking Zord I've really encountered that I can think of is Animus in Wild Force. And I hate Animus.
Even then,
So
is he really a Zord?
I guess I don't know, but yeah, I hate Animus, so I don't. It's not a good first impression. Then there's these Zords, and I guess they're like somewhat charming, like the T Rex and Ko is the red Ryusoulger.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah, the
is.
T Rex and Ko seem to have like a an interesting like kind of brotherly relationship. Him and Tiramigo, which is a Tyrannosaurus robot who just like
Yeah,
runs around like he's a dog. And Yumika pets him like he's a dog at the end of the movie.
yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about him always saying "tira" at the end of every sentence.
I don't know how I don't know how I feel about those quirks in general, but it just seems to
I
be a Japanese thing.
I know so many non-human characters in Sentai say like their own names or some other thing after each sentence. Like Setchan in Zenkaiger, he always says "tune" after a sentence, and it's the same with Tiramigo saying "tira." Not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's interesting. So are they all like alive in New Soldier? Because I guess they talk,
Uh,
but like they we don't. The only one we see like doing much of anything is Tiramigo.
Again, I haven't seen Ryusoulger yet. You probably have to ask some other friends we've got.
Would get an expert?
Yeah. I mean, I could message a certain someone and see if they would join the call. We can ask them about it
If you
if
want,
they're even in a server. I'm not even sure if they are.
definitely not in this server.
I mean, I'll I'll DM them and see what they say.
Yeah, stay tuned on that. We'll see if we can get another guest in. That'd be funny. But
Until
regardless,
until then, what's oh they're offline. Fuck.
what was in this movie?
There was the cafe scene.
That
There
was
was the
fun. Tsukasa and Toma have a lot of tension, a lot of very obvious tension.
yeah, and they were never like hinted at in LuPat. I don't
That's
think
funny. That's weird then, because
it
it feels
feels
very
that
strong
way. Yeah,
here. Yeah,
there's a very certain type of tension that you can feel in that one scene. But
they're kind of giving each other bedroom eyes pretty hard. It's pretty intense.
it is pretty like it feels obvious. Like, and even Candle, was like, "Wait, are they together?"
Yeah, can at this point, Canelo thinks he's on a date with Tsukasa. It's a big misunderstanding about what this meeting is supposed to be. Canelo thinks he's on a date with Tsukasa, and then Tsukasa starts talking to Toma, and they're giving each other the most obvious bedroom eyes to ever happen on the Toku product. Um, and Kanalo's like, "Oh no, you guys are together, are you?" And they're like, "No."
No.
Both at the
Pretty
same
sad.
time.
I mean, I guess, and for one of them, it's a bit too soon to be thinking of that because not sure how much you know about the ending of LuPat, but
Doesn't Toma have a dead girlfriend or something?
how much do I say? That's the one problem I've got to keep in mind about this. Like, is it safe?
Spoilers for LuPat. It's not. It's probably not safe, but I don't care. But for the listeners, spoilers for LuPat.
Okay, well, because I'm not sure if I should say it if it might be spoilers for the viewers. That's the
Well, now
one
they've been
thing.
warned. Now they can fast forward if they want.
You can fast forward to, I don't know, maybe if Riley remembers, he can put like a timestamp on the screen.
Maybe I'll put a timestamp. Maybe you can figure it out yourselves. Maybe you're just big boys and girls and you could do it.
You're adults, you can do that, but spoilers ahead starting now. It's revealed in the near the end of Lupat that actually the people that Zamigo froze are not dead. They were just teleported, and they get set free. And um, three of them have connections to the main three Lupinrangers. You had Kyrie's brother, Yumika's best friend, and Tuma's fiance. But that I don't think there's been any word about his fiance past the finale. But I guess because her name was like Aya or Ava, and that's the name that in this movie Sukasa said that he was avoiding. So I'm guessing I missed a movie or a special where something happened. Like I don't know why he'd be avoiding her, but I
Because he
guess
wants
he
to bone down on Tsukasa, obviously.
that cheating bastard. Yeah, that's the
Come
spoilers
get your
done with.
fucking rat. I don't know the guy's name. I forgot the guy's name.
What Tuma?
Tuma. Tuma, come get your rat. Oh no, Tuma is the rat. Who's the fiance?
Oh, Aya or Ava.
Ava. Okay. Yeah, Ava, come get your rat.
I think that's her name anyway. Major Aya. Aya.
Aya. Okay.
Aya. Aya. She looks good though.
But yeah,
Like
also, sorry, go ahead.
like in the finale they come back as and they're wearing like Lupinranger looking outfits and she rocks hers.
That's awesome.
I would message that friend but they're offline, so like,
I see.
come on, Izzy.
That's okay. We know enough. We're just
Yeah.
watching the action figures bash together. But yeah, what else happened? Oh, the black and green these soldiers get arrested and
Oh yeah.
interrogated.
I was happy that we got to see a realistic reaction to like rangers carrying weapons.
But it's like at the same time, you should know the drill by now, because like the Ryu soldiers have to have been around for some time by the point of this movie. Like, oh, yeah, they're carrying those. So those are the Ryu soldiers over there. That's what those guys are. I know because of the big fucking dinosaur head on their swords.
Maybe it was a new area that they haven't been to yet.
Yeah, yeah, they're out of town.
Like maybe they're in the Lupin Ranger place.
But even then, like you would, first of all, if they were in the Lupinranger place, I'd argue you see a big T-Rex sword and you're like, okay, that's a Power Ranger thing. Like regardless of what Power Rangers you know, if you've been around Power Rangers, You're like, oh, the guy with the goofy fucking Tyrannosaurus head sword is obviously a Power Ranger.
You say that, and then um I grant you that, not grant you, but like I point you towards the fact that not even not Lupin, Patron, Ichigo, Keiichiro, not even he could figure it out, and he's a red Sentai.
Yeah, that's another thing. I didn't even bring that up, but you're right.
It's like, if anyone, more Sentai teams should know a Sentai weapon when they see it. But he just looks at it and is like, "Why are you carrying around a sword, huh?
What are you gonna do
You're
with that
under
sword?
arrest.
You're gonna stab people? Because that's what people use a sword for, you know.
You're under arrest."
You go to jail, mister.
Yeah, and then Bamba's just like, "No, I'm not," and he walks right past, but he gets cuffed anyway.
Yeah, Bamba is very aggro.
I mean, yeah, he was the first person to say, "Yeah, let's just kill the Zords. That's the plan. We kill the Zords."
That seems weird. It seems weird for any of the Ryusoulgers soldiers to have suggested that. Like if like Kyrie said that, I feel like it would make more sense. Not Kyrie, because Kyrie was the one who kind of talked Ko into doing it that way in the first place. But like Kaichiro would have been the guy to be like, we got to just blow that guy up.
Yeah, and he'd probably say it with a bit more, um, like sorrow than Bamba did. Like he'd probably be like, "I'm afraid we have no choice. For the safety of the planet, we have to destroy that monster, with or without the Zord still inside him. There's no choice." I feel like that would have been the first thing.
Because like it seems like all of the Ryusoulger Zords are alive and they talk, so you'd think that every Ryusoulger would have some sort of deep emotional attachment to their talking robot that they have.
But no, Bamba's just like, "Nah, let's kill him."
Gotta kill him. Gotta kill him. It's the only thing we could do.
I know his Zord wasn't in there, but still.
Oh, was it not? I thought they were all in there, kinda. I got mixed up.
No, there were only 5 in there, and there's a lot more than 5 Ryusoulger Zords. If I pull up the wiki, maybe I can figure out which ones are in there. I know 3 of them. Like there was there was a Tiramigo, obviously. Mosarex was in there. The Dimetrodon was in there. And then there was 2 more. Uh, allies, villains, Gangler, Ganima. There we go. So he sealed Dime Volcano, which isn't a particular Ranger's Zord. It's just an auxiliary Zord. It's like a fire
Okay.
diamond. Um, Hakigaru, another auxiliary, like the Paki Zord.
Shout out to my boy Packy.
This Paki
Packy.
has a little baby Paki in his pouch, like a kangaroo.
That's great.
Uh, Mosa Rex and Peridon. So yeah, they're all auxiliary Zords except Mosa Rex and Tiramigo.
So it's just Canalo and Co. that are getting screwed here.
Yeah,
Really?
pretty much.
Okay, any other moments before we get to the wrap up questions?
Uh, well, if I scroll down in the wiki, I can
I'm trying to
probably.
think of what the moment was where I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Was there a moment like that, or are you just trying to think if there was one?
No, there was one. It was like, I think it was a rallying speech, but I'm trying to remember what exactly it was.
A rallying speech. Was it maybe the moment where Ko decided he couldn't destroy that monster because of the Zords inside him. So
Yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna protect the world and my friends. I'm not gonna choose. I'm gonna do both. And then he stands up, and
yeah,
everybody else stands up, and it's a big, determined moment, and it's pretty good.
yeah, that was the first thought that came to mind. Uh,
The morph was cool. That final attack was kind of fucking awesome.
it was like the shot of all of their helmets and then just the blast.
Man, the more like the a lot of the modern Toku seasons they skipped seem to have this like they skipped or they just didn't get to because Power Rangers ended. Um, seem to have all these like really flashy special attacks that seem like this. They seem like so on another level as compared to like what we've had in Power Rangers before. It's like
Yeah,
why didn't we adapt any of these with these like awesome looking attacks? I think Go Busters was one of them. So we went back and we fixed our mistakes on that one. But there's a lot more, such as LuPat,
it was
which was a layup if it weren't for fucking Simon Bennett and cultural goings on.
it was criminal that we didn't adapt Go Busters initially because Go Busters was like the first one to make a proper reference to Power Rangers in the
And the
season.
Morpher did say it's morphin' time.
And then they would say, let's morphing. Like they make a season referencing the American show and we don't go back and adapt it. So yeah,
It was a weird
that was
decision they made.
and that was a mistake that was that needed to be fixed. I'm glad it was.
Well, I mean, I know why they did it, and like I get it,
I actually don't know why.
because there was Kyoryuger, and they were like, "Ooh, dinosaurs! Those always do well."
Oh
So
yeah,
they just skipped to
or you just
Kyoryuger.
yeah, that makes sense. You know they would have adapted Gojuja simply because of one of them being a dinosaur.
One of them is a dinosaur. There's that episode where there's the Red Ranger. I would love a
Yeah.
Power Rangers anniversary season where like the Universe Reds are just their Power Rangers equivalents.
Well, like the Sentai season with Jason and, and Tommy.
Not a
Or
Sentai season, like a Power Rangers season.
wait, what?
I'm saying like an adaptation of Gojuger where
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
so adapt Gojuja, but actually have
Have all the Red
Jason
Rangers come back.
on. I would say don't bring um Zato back. Bring Amelia instead.
Good. I agree. Amelia's all you need, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that. Yeah, in fact, in that in the images that I see of Gojuja and the dinosaur team, the only female member is um a Ryusoul Red, which would be Dino Fury Red. So Amelia would be perfect. So just get Jason, Tyler, Amelia, and Connor back. Perfect episode or a movie.
Yes. I agree. I gotta catch up on Gojuger. That Black Ranger is like awesome. Should my soul belongs to her. We are destined to marry.
I need to start it if she's that good. Cause
She's I've only seen her in one episode. I haven't even seen her morph yet. But she was just like immediately she won me.
damn,
She's so badass.
same treatment as freaking uh like Trent from me.
Like kind of similar to Rose, where like her first scene is just her like absolutely intellectually dominating everybody else in the room and looking great doing it.
He's nearing the same level as an Overdrive character. That's high praise.
I know that sounds like, to any outsiders looking in, that sounds like I'm being mean, but I'm the weird guy who likes Overdrive.
Yeah,
And I'll
I'm
say,
being
even if
genuine. That's high praise.
it is high praise, but I'm just saying, for people who think we're being sarcastic, because the Overdrive hate is quite common. I like Overdrive, but in particular, even if you don't like Overdrive, because like I can see the like progression of the season kind of getting grating, but the premiere of Overdrive is like one of the best episode of Power Rangers I've ever seen. The Disney era had like great premieres.
Oh, definitely.
That was a signature of the Disney era. Is the first episode was always one of the best ones of the season, because I feel like they always were higher budget and like they were telling a big story, because it was the story of how things are starting, and they were well done.
Day of the Dino, perfect example.
Yeah, Day of the Dino is great, and then Shift into Overdrive, I think, is what it's called, or Kick in Overdrive or something. Part one, part two is mostly just like it's a Power Rangers episode. They do Zord fights and stuff, but part one and like all the character intros is like so good.
Yeah. Let me find the name of the episode. It's Kick into Overdrive.
Kick in Overdrive, yeah, that episode is really good.
Uh, I don't remember the name, but there's also uh, a prelude to a storm. The the real opening for under Disney era.
Oh, that's the Ninja Storm premiere.
That's an Storm from it. It is so good.
I feel
Like
like that one
they,
I kind of remember the least, but it's probably just because it's been a long time.
I just remember the joke where Shane is struggling to remember the morph, and Dustin's like, "Dude, just watch."
I do like Dustin morphing first, and like Shane and Tori marveling at what they're seeing before them, and then following suit. Like I do like that scene structure. Yeah, I remember that episode a little bit better now. It's a good one. But like Day of the Dino and Road to Corinth kind of stick out as
Rota
like,
Corin.
yeah, bro, the most like cinema shot in Power Rangers. Like they got artsy. They did an artsy camera shot in Power Rangers. Do you remember? So this is immediately why Dylan is like a top 10, one of the best Power Rangers ever. Because one of the first things we see him do is he finds a flower in the Apocalypse Desert, and he wastes the rest of his water supply watering the flower, which is perfect. Dylan is a perfect being, and he should be protected. And he's also the biggest badass in history, and he's very capable of doing that. And he waters this flower, and then a bunch of grinders show up, which are the evil robot putties. And Dylan like jumps off of his car and like does like a flying kick, and then the camera shifts away from the fight, and it's just focused on the flower to show you how Dylan is making super sure that this flower is not getting hurt even a little bit, as he dismantles these robots limb from limb in such a way that it was too violent to show on screen. So we instead get this artsy shot of a flower, and it's like absolute cinema.
Dylan is so badass that his first fight they couldn't show on the screen.
Yeah, it's so brutal that they couldn't show it.
He transcends what is acceptable on the show.
But yeah, the Disney era had some really fucking good premieres, is my point.
And again, we're talking about Power Rangers.
We are talking about Power Rangers again. It's all a united universe. I think we're
It
just we're,
is.
we're glad to have a little bit of freedom to talk about other Power Ranger seasons besides Mighty Morphin and Cosmic Fury.
Yeah, I think we should. I see someone online that maybe we could drag into a recording to talk about other seasons in general after this. Maybe.
I kind of had to go do stuff after this, unfortunately, but maybe sometime soon we can
Yeah,
schedule something.
fair enough.
All right, anything else before wrap up questions?
That the question breaks out. The Duel Fighters. Gives them the idea. Like Noel made the freaking Lupinranger Ryusoulgers. Where's
Who
the
did?
notes?
Oh, Noel.
Oh, yeah. Notes. After the Kishiryu are released, Kiramigo quotes. Yeah, that's a reference. Oh yeah, that's a thought. The the Lupin Magnum was in this episode or in this movie, but they
Oh,
didn't think to use it
that was
as
the
a
gun.
yeah, that was the gun. The most overpowered gun in Sentai history, by the way.
Really?
Well, for one, it's not just a gun, it's a Megazord. Two,
Interesting.
it's rapid fire. And three, it can shoot a monster like feet backwards through a concrete wall. That gun is insane.
It's wild. That's wild. Was not obvious in this movie. It kind of seemed like just another weapon.
Yeah, no, like it's. I wish there was a YouTube video of its first introduction. I might have to look up when it was introduced and skim through it to find it, so I can show you right
Also,
after.
we haven't talked about the monsters at all, and that's because like it's the least memorable part for sure.
Right, they are. There's like this, and the Gangler with 5 staves that turn gold, and then there's
A
the
dinosaur, Minosaur. I
dinosaur.
remember his name, Minosaur. I don't even
Well, actually,
remember how Minosaur died.
Minosaur wasn't his name. That was just what he was. Like you know how in every Sentai season there's a name for monsters.
Oh, the monsters are the Minosaurs. Okay.
Yeah, like think back to Power Rangers. Think in Wild Force, the monsters are orgs.
Yeah, the Minosaurs. Okay, got it. So
The
his
minus
name was not Minosaur. I don't know what his name was then. I was under the impression it was Minosaur.
no, his name was Grunt, the Griffin Minosaur,
Griffin Minosaur. Okay.
and he just had like blades and or guns or something.
And there was Safe Man.
And the reason that those safes turn gold was because um, gold safes need 2 dial fighters to open them.
Crazy.
Oh my god, the Griffin Minosaur was in another film.
Oh, recurring character, I see.
Saber and Zenkaija?
I bet you a bunch of like past monsters come back that they fight, and one of them is
Probably.
Griffin Minosaur. Yeah.
I wonder if the Gangler comes back at any point. Let me find his wiki page. Ganima. The exact same movie. So they both
Interesting.
come back in that one. But yeah, I do think that's pretty much everything.
All right, so let's touch our wrap up questions. So the wrap up questions, 2 of them are going to be familiar, one of them's a little different. So favorite character, favorite scene, and then we're going to have to rate the film out of 10. So first, favorite character, Nightster, give it to me.
Uh, I'm gonna give it to Kyrie.
He was pretty good.
Who are your favorite
Feel
characters?
like, hmm, kind of a hard one. She was kind of minor, but like I really like her in general. And she had a couple of badass moments in this movie. I think I'm gonna give it to Yumika.
Yeah, she's always a good pick in
Yeah, she's
anything.
great. They all were really good, pretty much, besides Ryusoul Blue, as previously established. But I really liked Yumika.
Yeah, great character.
Now, favorite
Oh, now
scene.
that friend is on. Great.
Oh, by the way, one. Oh, what happened?
Look who just went online.
Oh, is he?
Is it online? Yeah,
That's funny. Did you say your favorite character was Kyrie?
Kyrie. Yeah. So
Kyrie,
both
yeah.
of us picked Lupin Rangers.
That's true. Oh, I did want to say real quick. There was one scene we didn't mention. We mentioned part of it. There was the Looney Tunes kicking Mucus, whose name I've already forgotten, through the ceiling.
Cleon.
Um, Cleon, kicking Cleon through the ceiling. But like the rest of that scene, just like that sick ass unmorphed fight with Toma
Oh
and
yeah,
Yumika jumping in and being badasses. That was sick.
and then Oto, that's Kanalo's sister, um, watching in awe as they like grapple away. That's pretty cool.
It was kind of weird how Yumika was not like super into the idea of having to morph in front of this little girl, but she's perfectly fine with using her magical grappling hook in front of this little girl.
I guess by that point she just figured, screw it. This little girl has already seen me kick ass in a fight. Might as well, um,
Might as well
I
use
guess,
my sick ass grappling hook.
yeah, like Kyrie needs us. Let's go. Favorite moment? Uh, you know what? Kind of
I think I'm just
underrated.
gonna give it to the ending fight. That's kind of cheating, I know, but it's just like I like seeing different teams of Power Rangers fighting together. And it's just like they did a bunch of cool shit. They did a big cool finisher. It was awesome. I'm gonna give it to that. This movie's kind of driven by the action figures bashing together, and there's no better example of that than the end scene with the fight, and it's an awesome fight.
On the other hand, I'm going to give it to a scene that we haven't even discussed because it was such a minor part. But I,
Okay. Okay.
I just love the character building it had. Was the nighttime bit with Kyrie and Keiichiro sharing a drink.
That was good. That was
You know,
good.
I love that bit. And that drink could have been anything. I mean, they have canned water over
It looked
there,
like
so
it was coffee. Like it had. I thought it had a coffee bead on the front.
might have been coffee.
It's
Like it
just
might have
like
been water,
canned coffee.
coffee,
It was
soda.
they they were on late night patrol, and Kyrie was on late night running from the police. And they shared a coffee.
Imagine it was a beer. Like you're sharing a beer with the police officer that's
On the
hunting you.
job gets Kaitrio fired. That's the end game.
That's the end game, yeah. It's, and that's my favorite scene. Just I love the character building there.
That's fair. All right, now we got to rate this film out of 10. What are you thinking?
Really good, but the goofiness in some parts just kind of honed it down for me. So I'm gonna give it a solid 7.
Okay, that gives you more confidence where I was gonna put it, because like I felt like I was being a little cruel. I didn't know how charitable you were gonna be to it. I really liked it, but it was not like super deep, and it was not to the quality standard of Kowanja versus Geki Ranger. I'm gonna give it a 7.5, personally.
Oh, going into decimals.
Yeah, we allow point fives on the show. No silly decimals, just point fives.
It's not quite an 8, but it's not.
That's the rule around here. Yeah, it's not quite
Yeah,
an 8, but it's not. It's 7 is too cruel, so seven
yeah.
point five.
If one number is too cruel, but the next number is not quite, then just throw a point 0.5 in there, and you're good to go.
So yeah, this is a pretty good film. I enjoyed it, and I'm glad we reviewed it. I'm glad I made an episode of Issue Crew movie reviews. I'm gonna try to do more of them. No promises.
Yeah.
We might have to do more of these Sentai ones with their success. This is gonna become a Sentai show real fucking quick if the views keep being consistent like they are.
Yeah. I mean, Sentai gets a lot of traction. It's a very good show.
We'll get Crow on next time. I would have invited them today, but they were working, and I just wanted to get this done. We
Yeah.
made sure not to pick anything Juoja or Kuryuja related, Crow. Take that, Solus. We'll save those for you. Uh, but regardless, I think we're about done. So Nightster, what do you want to plug? Perhaps a YouTube channel where a Sonic battle video will be uploaded soon?
Oh my god! I have the Sonic Battle video just
You
in
totally
my.
forgot about that. You.
Thanks for reminding me. I need to upload that. Um, yeah, that video will be on my main channel, Nightster. But you can also catch me and Riely and maybe some other friends of ours in the little group that we've got in our Toku channel, Toku Thrill.
Yeah.
We've got a
And me
bunch of
also.
videos there.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, just saying, and there's a bunch of videos up and planned to go up.
Zenkaiger episode 2 and Pink Ranger tier list coming someday.
TM.
Recorded when I was still 22.
Same.
But regardless, folks. You can also find us on Megazord Radio. I plugged at the beginning. I'm going to tie it back around at the end. It's a more in-depth. We recap and rank and talk about episodes of Power Rangers. We're on a quest to watch and review all of Power Rangers in order. It's going to take 15 years of our lives. And if you want to be a part of our journey, come subscribe on YouTube or Spotify, or maybe I think other podcast places too, but YouTube and Spotify for sure. And also linktr.ee/Riely Cinematic Universe for everything that I do. And that's it. And listen to The Issue Crew, which is the main show on this channel/feed, depending on what platform you're listening on. Check that out. It's a pretty funny show that Nightster's probably never going to be on because we record it at like 1:30 in the morning for him because he's British.
Well, I was on once, I think. Or was that?
No,
Oh
you were
no,
on the Death
that was
Stream
Stream.
once.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never
which I
mind.
do with my friend Brad on my YouTube channel, Riely and Friends. That's in the link tree. You should check that out too.
I mix things up.
But all right, folks, we'll see you next time.
Bye. This.
Bye.